see?
Then...
Very, very few people are called Herbert, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, those of you having babies and boys, there's a good name available. Okay, so I'll just do a nice introduction.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like maybe it's not close enough to you. I don't want you to have to lean forward. You can pull it as close.
I prefer leaning back because it feels more cool.
Yes. So please get it in a position where you feel comfortable.
There.
There, better?
Yeah,
Okay.
right there. Okay.
Because you leaning forward is not comfortable, right?
We're comfortable like this.
Okay.
Okay.
It is time for the Groove Cafe right here on RX Radio. I am Crystal, always happy to sit down and chat. Joining me today, I have vocalist, guitarist, instrumentalist, and songwriter Herbert, or full name's Herbert Sensamba, joining me on the Groove Cafe. Herbert,
hi everybody.
I'm not going to say Herbo.
No, Herbo feels, it feels so old school, but hi everybody.
So high school, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Herbert, welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me. All right. I will say life is funny, but it's a good way.
Said life is lifing.
Yeah, life is so funny lately. So today you're the other side, the other day you were the other side, but I'm all right, to be honest.
Right.
Yes.
You're okay.
Yes.
So you have a love for music where you've performed with so many different artists, different kinds of artists.
Yes.
You've been part of world music concerts and on those kind of stages. But then you told me that you're truly an R&B artist at the end of the day. Is that where your heart lies?
Yes, for sure. For long, I've thought I'm say a world musician. I am a soul musician.
You said even jazz.
A jazz musician. But as time has gone on, as I've realized that I'm not that kind of artist. I am, even though I do all these other things, I prefer to do R&B because of the little beat in it. You know, it's more groovy than the soul or the jazz.
So like the groove
the groove in it. So I would prefer to be an R&B artist.
Okay, now we know the Herbert now. I always want to know about the little Herbert. I always want to know when you discovered your love for music and what you were like growing up. Where did you grow up? Where were you born?
I was born in Chirika. I was born in Zambia Hospital. I didn't have so much musical experience as a young musician. I didn't sing that much. I discovered that I would sing later on in the years. I would sing in the bathroom, but
we all sing in the bathroom.
I would sing at home and everyone would be like, "Oh, your voice, shut up." But
who was that? Oh no!
Everyone at home, you know, because most of the people at home kind of sing in church, something like that. So, and because they are Protestants and the kind of music that they used to sing at home was majorly from that side of singing. So me, I would like to sing. I will always sing other types of musicians or grooves or styles or even gospel music.
So you were that child.
Yeah, I was there. They were like,
doing
no,
your own thing, singing other people's songs.
You can't sing at all. You can't sing at all. So all along, I got to know that I would actually sing in my senior six flag.
So who in your family was part of the choir and singing in church?
My mom, my grandfather, my grandmother, everyone kind of sings in my family.
Okay, there must be a lot of competition there.
Yeah, and one of my uncles was a big musician in the days.
Back in the day.
Yeah, within the industry. So.
Okay, is he someone that you looked up to in some way?
A lot, but he gave up. So he always kept telling me that music, you never make it in any way or another. So, yeah.
So even though you went to him for advice,
he was like, no.
Slow down.
He's like, you should get a job. So when I failed in music, everyone would give me an example using him. They're like, don't you see your uncle? He was exactly like you.
Wow.
So you're here wasting time. And
oh man, that's hard. That's harsh. That's really harsh.
It was kind of hard to be a musician at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and school, where did you go?
I went to primary school. Do I remember the school? Oh, I went to Good Daddy Primary School. It was the biggest in Chirika by then.
Good Daddy.
Then I went to HSC. Let me switch it to HSC. Where was that school?
Herbert?
I used to play soccer.
Just a quick one. Can I ask you not to hit the...
Oh.
We're hearing that.
Okay. I went to Chitende for O-level because I used to play football. And then I went to Uganda Matters Namugongo for HSC. Yes.
Okay. So you said you only finally like realized you could sing in Essex.
Yeah.
But what about with your as an instrumentalist?
That took longer. I took longer to learn how to play. Yeah.
So music was not part of your life in school?
To be honest, I think I became a musician because I was so broke or something.
No, what?
I okay. However,
Okay, explain.
um,
When did this happen and
in
how did
VAC,
this happen?
in VAC,
Uh-huh.
we didn't have enough money for campus, so everyone around the village went to school to campus. So I remained.
Okay.
The whole village was away, and I was home, and I was so broke. I tried to look for jobs, and for some reason, I could try to sing. I didn't know it would work, but
So that's the one thing you felt that you could try.
I could try it. I became a karaoke MC, so so that one would give me some little money, and then perchance I would learn other people's songs, singing them with lyrics on the screen. Like that, I started picking up, but the instrument was way later on.
Okay.
Yes.
I think you're the first musician or singer who has told me they learned by singing karaoke songs.
Yeah.
You're the first person. I know a lot of people got their practice there,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's kind of like where you started.
Yeah, that's how I started. And one person met me and they're like, "Are you sure you don't sing in any band?" I'm like, "No, I just sing these karaoke nights." And they're like, "What? This is unbelievable." So they gave me an opportunity to back up a musician called Zenson. That was 2009.
Yeah, Zenson.
Zenson was big by then. So after that, the band took me in as a singer. That's how I ended up here.
Wow. And when your family found out?
They basically don't think I am a musician.
How much? I don't know how to take this information.
Yeah.
Up to now? After all these years?
If you ask my grandmother or father, like, what do you think Herbert does? They're like, he plays his guitar. Sometimes we see him on TV. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you said the whole point was to find some money, make some money so you could go to university.
Yeah. Basically, it wasn't really about it was about survival, to be honest.
So university wasn't really the dream for you? Was it something you wanted to
I would
do? A course that you wanted to do?
I had wanted to go to the university. We tried to collect some money, but we didn't. I sacrificed school so that my little siblings would, because it wasn't really balancing for my grandfather, who was trying to.
Oh, so your grandfather was taking
Yeah. So I told him, I think I will survive in one way or another. He then, in reply, he's like, "Don't let me not die and you say I didn't take you to school or something. But I told him it's better to pay for them, because I had reached to a stage to figure out something for myself.
You felt like you can find your way.
Yeah.
Okay. So which band was this? You said the
Route
band
316.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's called Route 316. So in the band, I started learning how to play the instrument and other instruments. I play other.
When you started?
Yeah, in 2014. All along I'd been trying to learn, but I wasn't really playing at all. Then that's how I started, and I left the country, went to Rwanda, went to Kenya, went to Congo, doing gigs. So in that process, I think I had so much time on myself, so I surely decided to pick up the instrument.
So you're self-taught.
Yeah.
You are self-taught.
Yes.
So how did you end up in Rwanda? Was it with the band or an opportunity opened up?
Then National Theatre had so many opportunities for musicians, also traveling musicians. Let me even put it in brackets.
Okay.
So there were so many opportunities for
traveling musicians. Can you explain that?
If you are willing to leave the country and go and sing in, say, in South Africa or the US, there were so many opportunities in that particular space then. So we traveled, and I was away for about 4 years doing gigs in other different places. Then I came back.
Wow, 4 years. Did you miss home? Or would
Not
you go
really.
and come back,
Not really.
Not really?
Wow. I don't.
Oh, my heart is like, what's happening?
Because
there wasn't anything really back home for you?
I'm a born alone kid as well, so I don't have so much in this country as well. So traveling was I was excited, to be honest.
So you were enjoying being
I enjoyed
on the
my
move.
yeah. I
Okay.
till now I actually do enjoy.
Traveling.
Yes.
And this pandemic came
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just
It made
clipped
everything.
our
Yeah,
wings. Huh?
everything
Yeah.
was horrible now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 4 years you're away, going to different countries.
Yeah.
By the time you came back, did you have an idea what you wanted to do, how you wanted to craft your sound? Because like what you said, a lot of people think you're a world musician, but no,
Yeah.
your heart is with R&B.
Yeah.
But you're able to work with so many different
Yeah.
people and different genres of music, really. When did it start to like? When did you start thinking, okay, who is Herbert?
Oh, it took me. That's the hardest thing for any musician to identify what you exactly are. It takes unbelievable years. Some don't even discover themselves.
Yes,
They pass
still.
on and they're like, yeah, I had a hit song. I had 2, 3, 4 songs. And you're like, what kind of musician are you? So about a few years have gone by, and the world music scene doesn't move as it should move. So what do? Do you stop being a world musician, or do you sit home, or do you provide world music with other things? So that's where the R&B comes in. That's how you have to discover, and plus discovering your own voice in a beat.
Because I know someone said that's also the hardest thing.
That's the hardest part.
Finding
your own voice in a beat. So that's how I came up with the fact that I'm an R&B artist, because now I was like, yeah, now this is how I exactly want to sound on a recording. There's a sound on a live which is a combination of so many people. But on a recording, you don't need all the combinations of so many people. You need you.
True. Okay. So, when was the first time you got in the studio and you managed to record something and you're like, okay, there I am?
I've been trying to sing with my uncle, the other one.
Stop saying trying to sing. Just say I've been singing.
Singing with him.
Yes.
As he was a celebrity, I used to help him back up. But the ever first song I recorded was called Kagali. It was recorded in 2006. I was in senior one.
That was your song?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had never thought of how I would sound in a recording with my own voice. That was my ever first time.
How did you feel? Did you like it?
It was weird because I didn't like the way I sound at all. But
I thought that was something that is unique to those of us who work in radio.
you
We don't like the way we
never
sound.
like the way you sound. And most times when I record a song, I make sure I don't play it for about a month again.
Okay.
So that my ears will rest from that particular kind of sound, and I'm like, oh, okay, now it sounded at least better, yeah, like that.
Okay. So it's like we came back and you said, okay, I'm going to try so many different
Things.
Yes. And you were very open
Yes.
to exploring.
Yes.
So you've had fun with so many different artists. Tell us about them, who you worked with.
Tom is my favorite, The Myth. He's my favorite Ugandan musician because he's way talented than a normal artist.
He's so talented.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's apart from the rap and the other things, he's a normal fun crazy person to hang around with. So he has good vibe, but he's a very good teacher towards young musicians. And then he also helps you in arranging songs. So I've had really nice relationships with hip hop artists because I think they have that other side of not like the main the singers, and they have a real, how can I say it? They are laid back towards things. They don't fight like, they're not hateful. They are helpful. I'm trying to look for the best words to use for hip hop artists, because and they teach. They have lyrics. They say things to you in so many. I have only hip hop friends.
Wow. So like they're really deep. They're really
They are
helpful.
they are dedicated to being your friends. Yes.
Wow, that's eye opening. Because you find a lot of other people talk about the friction and the how people are competitive and especially with a lot of the well established musician. You're nodding your head. You've experienced that.
They're fighting unbelievable wars which are not even there. So they're not there.
Exactly, they're not really
They are
there.
not. When you move around other countries, you realize home is so small,
Mm-hmm.
as in really, really small. And
It's good to have that exposure,
yeah,
right?
and the talented people are not that many as other countries have.
Mm.
So you realize, oh, I've been getting it all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This is home. It's that's how it is.
That's how it is.
Yes.
You have a better understanding of
Yeah,
how
you
it is.
better when you move around and go, even if you go to say Nairobi,
Mm-hmm.
one place can have 1,000 amazing singers.
Yeah, you're right. It's very important to get out of our nice little bubble and comfort zone. Like you said, you have your two hits and you think you've arrived. You need to go out there and
And
experience more,
see
right?
how and but the industry is gone and we are stuck. So I
Yeah.
keep saying everyone is stuck. Even
Mm-hmm.
if they complain and go and ask for money and do everything, we are completely stuck.
Mm.
We need to change up some things here
Yeah.
and there.
A lot needs to change and a lot of effort needs to go into jump starting us
we,
again.
we need to start again. Enough isn't. We have fought enough. We can't just keep fighting for. Some people have been musicians for 25 years and they're still fighting some problems of 25 years. Why would you? Why would
Wow,
you?
Herbert. Wow.
20. We need to help each other
Yeah, to
to be.
build each other up, to
That's
build.
why I like hip hop artists. They
Okay.
do that very well
Yeah.
to the young ones. They
Mm-hmm.
make sure they are holding each other in one way or another.
Mm.
That's why even when there are industries like that, you will still find they will have positive competition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in the other side,
Yeah. That is the reality. Oop. That is the reality. And thank you for pointing it out because
yeah,
sometimes it's pointless.
it's
There's
when
room for everyone. There's room for
we have.
everyone to grow and to do well.
I don't know because you see, after all these years I've been a musician
Mm.
and I've not been in the mainstream straight line,
Mm.
but I've managed to perform at the mainstream artist stages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have managed to do almost every big gig around town without the music, even without the music, apart from the music. So sometimes talent takes more. Takes you from one place to the other without the
Mm-hmm.
the real fight. Like
The arrival is
yeah,
there.
you don't you. I work with almost every artist in this country. I like learning from artists because it's something I enjoy. Like when you meet a new artist, you're like, what? How do they think about a thing like this? So
Again, like I said, you're very open. You're
yeah,
open to experimenting and
yeah,
learning new things. And generally, if you have that, it's almost like a positive light about you.
yeah,
You find things come to you, right? Like you
yeah.
said, opportunities keep coming your way.
Opportunities have to come because you brush off people brush off your positivity.
Mm.
So many people don't have that. My friend keeps saying, if you want to see a rich person, see how many rich friends he has.
Mm-hmm.
What he means is you can't be rich alone, and then it's like you
You
can't
can't
be
be
the
doing well
only star
alone.
alone. You can't.
Uh-huh.
Like when people ask me, why don't you go to the mainstream, why don't you so many, why don't you do songs, why don't you do, and I'm like, but first wait, don't you want a balanced industry whereby you have mainstream artists, live musicians,
Mm-hmm.
cover artists, the whole you can. That's why you go to YouTube and check, I want a cover of this. You don't go and check for the owner of the song. So
Yeah,
so if you want a cover, you have a chance. You have an option, like 4, 10 great musicians doing these covers.
thank
It
you.
it helps pushing the songs to in a different style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, true. There's room. There's room for so much.
yeah.
I like your attitude. I have to say, I love it, love it, love it.
Thank you.
So what has been like the most exciting moment for you as a performer?
As a performer,
Yeah, when you look back and you're like, wow.
so I had a dream.
Mm-hmm.
When I realized that I could figure out stuff in music, I had a dream of doing jazz safari. So I thought I would do it later as a developing artist, but it came like 6 years before.
Okay, 6 years before.
Before. You know how you have a
Like you
goal
felt
of.
like you were not ready?
No.
Or looking
Can I
back
tell you
now
something?
you feel.
I heard there was just Safari. I went to their offices and I was like, you know what, guys? I'm playing. They're like, no, we don't have space. I'm like, you're joking. I sat in the office for about 3, 4 days. Elijah kept saying, no, you're not performing. I kept coming back every week, telling him, Gwe, you're joking. Then he's like, no. Then he told me there's no time. I'm like, oh, you first wait. When people are coming in, do you have music playing? He's like, no. I'm like, now that is my chance. He's like, what? You surely want to perform at that time? I'm like,
When
yes.
people are just
It's
coming
coming
in,
in.
settling
Yeah.
down.
He wouldn't believe it that I actually tried to milk him out to make me perform. I called everyone, they refused. So about 2 days to the show, I think he calls me. I think he thinks about it. And he's like, this boy really wants this. He's like, you come, you perform. So the day of the performance, like I said, I was the first performer. They make me stand for about 20 minutes on the stage. So the guitar was dropping water off the strings. And they were playing adverts, they were doing what? I think they were waiting for people to come in and what? And settle down. So I go off stage and I tell Michael Uma, there was Michael Uma, Michael Kitanda, and so many other musicians. I'm like, you're dead. With all this nonsense going on, my guitar is wet, not in tune, you are dead. So, so I walk and I go to the stage. I knock the guitar and the first E string is off tune. I was and
Okay,
this,
but how did it get wet?
because it was cold. You know, it the Just Safari always happens at that place. What is it called? No, Speak Resort Monyonyo. The lower side, I think that session.
At
I
that
think.
time.
So it was a cold
From
evening.
the lake, the water coming from
So
the.
I knock on my string, the
Right.
first string, and it's off tune.
Okay.
I'm like, you're dead. But to cut the story short, after I performed, everyone stood up and clapped. That was the most exciting day of my entire musicianship.
Because you were determined, you wanted
I
it,
I was
wanted it so bad.
bad. As in, there was nothing stopping me to do that particular show in the way and style I wanted to do it. There was all guitar, because so many things happened. I don't really want to go through that, but for that show to go through, more so that particular evening, because I didn't even do sound check. It was a crazy, very very crazy evening. But it's
it
not
all
only
came
me.
together.
Yeah, it's not only me. Most musicians go through it, but it's just trying to see your musicians. I feel like these little things want to see.
They're testing you.
Even if it's people, they're like, let's see how long you can take it for. They are just waiting for you to bust and mess it up, and they say, we told you, we told you. So, but it still forever is my best performance.
All right. So in the last almost 2 years, really, if we're going to be honest, this pandemic. I mean, what have you been working on? Have you been working on new materials?
Yes.
Keeping yourself busy?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I have a new album coming out in April
In April?
next year.
Okay.
It's called Different.
Different.
Yes. So everything there on it is different.
In what way?
You
What
will
do you
see.
mean? What do
will
you
see.
mean?
So
He's trying to leave us here hanging in suspense.
yeah, so I have an album of 12 songs.
12 songs.
I've been this past 2 years. I've been the most active gig man around town in the past 2 years.
Okay. Good for you.
I went to perform at the State House and they asked me what I wanted, and instead of asking for money, I asked for a letter that allows me to move, and it was signed there and then. So
Look at you, smart man. Eh?
so I have been doing gigs while everyone.
Harvard.
Yeah.
And you're saying we're stuck as an
We
industry.
were
Yet
stuck.
you've been flying above everybody else.
Let me tell you something. It's an open space. It's a small ground. So at the end of the day, you have to think way outside the box too. I would have asked for some cash, like any other musician would. But I noticed that cash wouldn't last me so long. and I wouldn't ask for 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're already paying me for performing there. So how much would they add on that? I was
Yeah.
like, it's okay. Let me find another way. So that kind of pushed me in the last 2 years
Mm-hmm.
to maybe recording my songs, and the fact that there were not so many gigs or weekly gigs.
Mm-hmm.
I've had enough time to rest, and for 10 years I've been on the road. I had never, like, not even rested for 3 days for the last 10 years.
No
I
way.
swear.
Wow. So
It,
you needed it in a way.
oh, I needed it.
You
Oh,
didn't know it, but you needed
I,
it.
I, I sat home and I couldn't believe how much I had rested,
Mm.
because I'd been on the road since 2009. I had never at any one time been home for 3 days.
Wow, I can't even imagine that.
See?
Okay.
So now I'm fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Album is coming out. Um,
Who are you working with on this album? Can you
I'm working with so many people. I'm working with APAS.
Uh-huh.
He's helping me with recording and writing some of the songs. I'm working with a producer called Peter
Mm-hmm.
in Kasangat. Is an unbelievable young producer.
Okay.
Then I'm working with Warner. Then I'm working with Steve Keys of Songs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the people I'm surely working with. Oh, and Ande, producer Ande
Mm-hmm.
of Before Then Buddies. That one, yes.
Okay. Looking forward to it. April
29th,
April 29th.
yes,
Different.
different.
All right. Hubbard, thank you so much for joining me. This is fun and surprising in so many ways.
Why? Because I'm not saying the same things other.
Just the fact that you move differently. You move very differently, and I think that is very special.
Thank you.
Very, very special.
Thank you very much.
So for people who are listening who want to find your music,
Yeah.
where can they find your music? Where can they find
Okay. I think the whole thing of finding music becomes hard when we differentiate the places to find them.
you? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
But if you want all my things, not
Mhm.
only music,
mm-hmm.
you could just go to Google and put in Herbert Sensamba.
Wait, you say all my things.
Yeah, there are other things. There are other small
Yes.
businesses. There are other small things I do apart from the music. So
Uh-huh.
so be surprised.
So
Surprise yourself.
fashion.
No, not really.
What else?
I do passion fruits.
Okay.
I have a small farm that does that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I produce on the side. I I write content for ads.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I teach sometimes to play and write.
Mm-hmm.
I also teach how to produce a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I do so many other things apart from.
So you know what to do. Just look for Hubbard,
It's Herbert Sensamba
Uh-huh.
within your Google, and then
and you'll get everything.
everything instead of looking for one particular thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All right. So thank you again for joining me on the Groove Cafe,
thank you too.
and we're looking forward to different.
Different it is.
All right. And we are done.